Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design, and this is Throwback Thursday. This is a weekly series that I do on my YouTube channel where I reach back into my stash of older papers to inspire us to make something fresh and new. All this year I've been making a banner of the month by your request, and I've been using Graphic 45's Time to Flourish collection. This is the cover for the 8x8. So this is April, and we're making the May banner so that you have time to get it made before the calendar page flips. You're going to need both sheets of your 12x12 Time to Flourish and both sheets of your 8x8 Time to Flourish. And what I've done is I've taken 3 Graphic 45 square tags and cut out cover papers from the paper collection using the square tag die. Then I also used another little die that I had in my stash to cut out these stitched pennants. These are small. These are just 2.5 by 3.5. And so I have 4 of those. I have 1 on each end. And then I have the 3 large tags. And what I've done is I've stitched this on to some ivory crushed satin ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and then topped it with this beautiful lace trim from Renee Bouquets. Then I stitched this up on my sewing machine, and I go across the top and along the bottom so that the banner will lie flat. You know how sometimes with banners they want to flip funny? So if you stitch along the top and along the bottom both, you won't have that problem. So I do all of this ahead of time because I really can't show you how to sew when I'm on my sewing machine. I don't have the kind of camera to do that. So this is where we are right now. This little banner from end to end, let me see, there's 12, there's 24, it's about 28 inches from end, well, no, I'm sorry. It's about 3 feet from end to end. You can see it's long. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you step by step how to decorate each of the pennants in this banner. I always want my center banner to be the focal point. So I choose an embellishment that's really bold. And this time I'm using this gorgeous Renee Bouquets heart frame that I believe is in violet. And I've turned this into a shaker element. I just backed it with clear cardstock or an acetate sheet, whichever way you want to call that, trimmed around it, and then I added a triple layer of foam strips. And this is going to be our shaker cover. So now I'm going to bring in my shaker elements. I've got some periwinkle Lilac Lane from Buttons Galore and More. And some of my things are old. I've had them a while, so you may or may not be able to find them. But I encourage you to dig into your stash and look for items that you do have. So I've built my frame. Now I'm going to put my shaker elements down on my patterned paper. So this has some little pearls in it, and I like to turn these over and get them all facing the right direction. It just gives you a better chance of having them face the right direction once you get all the goodies in there. I like to add buttons, and these mixes, one of the reasons I like these mixes is that they have buttons, they have beads, they have sequins. They're just really delightful. So let me grab a couple more small buttons. And that's the reason, the buttons are the reason that I put a triple layer of foam. Because otherwise they get stuck and then your shaker element doesn't shake very well. Then I have some really pretty beads I'm going to add to this mix just for a little contrast. These pretty little micro beads, I got these when I was on the Little Birdie design team. And these make a really nice sound, and they also look really pretty. And then these are Renee Bouquet Dreamer beads, and I just want some of the smaller ones. I don't want to go too big because, again, if they're too big, they will get stuck in that shaker element and make it really difficult for things to move around. That's really pretty. So I'm going to get everything kind of in the center of my panel where I'm going to lay down my frame. And sometimes these little guys like to scoot around a little bit. I'm going to bring in my frame. And I don't want this to be straight. I think I want it to be at an angle. Okay, that looks good to me. So see, now we've got this really beautiful shaker element right in the center. And what I'm going to do is take one of these beautiful Dreamer dragonflies, also from Rene Bouquets, and I'm going to add it right here. And I'll probably hot glue that down before it's all said and done. But isn't that pretty? So that's a really good focal point for the center of our banner. Now let's go to work on this first large pennant. And you can see I've covered this with this magnolia. I forgot to mention that before I stitch, I hold my layers of ribbon and lace together with binder clips. And then I remove the binder clips as I'm sewing. It just makes it easier. So I took this Rene Bouquets laser cut clock and I painted it lavender. And we're going to glue this down. And these come without the hands attached, so you have to attach the hands. I use my Dry Clears adhesive. In the center of these, I have some, right in the center of the hands, I want to put these little roses. These are also from Rene Bouquets. She has the most beautiful flowers. They're just stunning. So I fussy cut this May title from the 12 by 12 cut apart sheet. This is on the ledger page, like the journal page. And I put foam tape behind it here. And we're going to put this down at the base of our clock. I just want to slip this underneath. Just like that. And where this butterfly is, I'm going to put in one of our dragonflies because that's kind of our theme. There we go. That looks good. Let's do this last pennant, and I've taken a Rene Bouquets or April in Paris small medallion, and I treated it with some, I think this was called Singing in the Rain embossing powder from Wow, and then spritzed it with a little purple mist. This is an old Melissa Francis chip resin bird nest that I treated with some paint and spattered with a little bit of glimmer mist to give a bit of purple speckle. And this is a Rene Bouquets little fairy, and we're going to put her right here with this little sweet egg nest of eggs. And then on this last pennant, I've got the chipboard from the May. We're going to put this right here, and then back behind it, we're going to tuck in a few sweet posies. just like that. And I may revisit this, but for right now I'm pretty happy with that. So I've got these little postage stamps that I've cut with my stamp shaped scissors. I'm going to tuck those in there. Isn't that cute? Then let's come down here to this middle one. And I've cut May flowers out from the 12 by 12 border strip. I'm going to put this right here. And then I'm going to do a similar thing. Tuck those back behind. Then we'll add this beautiful dragonfly right here to finish that off. That is beautiful. All right, then come over here. I've got the other 12 by 12 border strip, just like this. Tuck these guys back behind, like that. Good to stagger the directions. It makes it more interesting to look at. And then I've got this sweet dragonfly to go right here. Then on this first little pennant, I took a little resin frame. I backed it with the image from the 8x8 tag, put some of these little dreamer beads in, and now we're just going to glue this down. I also put down another little piece of our border, but I made sure that I can cover up the right-hand side where it says April. So there's that. Okay, I've added just a single piece of this hyacinth double face satin ribbon on each end, and now I'm going to add my bows, which are also tied with hyacinth double face satin ribbon. And I like my tails to go up on these banners. So I'm just going to put that in place. And then I have an iridescent metallic string bow I'm going to put right there. I have a beautiful lavender flower with a darker purple, because remember, contrast is really important in composition. You don't want everything to be the same color tone, even though I have purple. I mean, sometimes you do, I guess, if you're doing a monochromatic design, but I'm not. I'm doing, you know, these are like, I'm picking up on the colors that are in the paper collection. So I'm going to put these two flowers right here. And when that bow is set up, I'll come in and spread those out. And these are all from Renee Bouquets. This is one of her gardenias, which are so beautiful. I'm going to tuck this in right here. So we've got like a little nosegay, and then just pull your ribbons down, because that's how you want them to be when you hang your banner. And adjust your bows. See how pretty that is? I also added a little dragonfly here with this little cluster. And then we're going to come down here and do the same thing on this end. So I just kind of take my ribbon and I get it going the direction I want it to go. There's my adhesive right there. Now, if purple's not your thing, go with the pink shades that are in this collection, and it will be equally beautiful. I happen to love purple, but I know a lot of people don't. So if you're not a fan, go with the go with the pink. Here are my roses. my gardenia. So pretty. Now, normally I tie a little something in between each pennant, but honestly, people, this lace is so gorgeous, I don't want to cover it. All right, the last thing I want to show you is how to add these sweet little embellishments to the bottom of your tags. I've got these vintage safety pins, and I'm going to string. I put my charms on little jump rings, and I'm going to string my charms onto our little pin. So cute. I've got a key and a dragonfly and a little word token. And then I'm going to run this right through the bottom here. And then just adjust it. So sweet, and they make a really nice sound too. If they catch a little breeze or movement, they jingle jangle. So, all right, so we'll start at the beginning. We'll look at each of these pennants. We've got it all finished now. I've added my little flower clusters and tiny bows back behind the flower clusters to set them off. So here I added a dragonfly at the top of our little frame. Here I added a dragonfly on the clock. I've changed out this big one for the small one. Here's our little charm cluster. And I'm not going to do buttons or anything else. I think we're right where we need to be. Sweet little floral cluster with another dragonfly. There's a dragonfly on each pennant, which makes it really, I just love dragonflies. They're so fun. And there's probably some glue webs on here that I'm going to have to get off. But this is finished now. So pretty with our flower clusters and all our sparkly dragonflies and our beautiful vintage, beautiful board and these wonderful papers from Graphic 45. So that is our May banner of the month. And I hope you get inspired to make a May banner. If you want to check the other monthly banners, they're still up on my YouTube channel, so you can watch those. I can see I've got glue webs in here I'm going to have to clean up. But worth it for the beautiful finish. I really love this one. It's very, very pretty. So thanks for joining me. Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design, Throwback Thursday. Go get your craft on. Bye.